Hi, welcome back to the practical section of HBase. In this section, we'll see how to create tables, column families, and how to insert rows and what are the different properties of HBase. Okay, so first of all, in order to log into HBase shell, we got to type HBase space shell. It will take you to the HBase prompt where you can type in your commands. Okay, I've entered into my HBase shell. Okay, so once I enter, how do I create tables in HBase? So I have made all the commands ready so that it would be easy for us to operate on HBase. So I'm creating a table called cars with a column family called VI. Yeah, so when I type something called create cars VI, sorry, I'll just log into HBase shell once again. So when I type something called create cars VI, it will create a table with cars and with a column family of VI. Okay, so now I have created a table called cars. Now, how do I put my data into my table called cars? So how do I do that? So for row 1, I am giving a column called make. I told you, if you got to call a column, you got to give your column family colon your column name and your actual value, which is your BMW. I am giving a column called make, and for that make I am giving column value called BMW. So let me put my data inside the table cars. So for row 1 and for the column make, I am putting a value called BMW. Similarly, I am creating another column called model. I am putting my data inside it. And for year as well, I am putting my data. So if I give something like scan cars, I'll get all my first row with all the column qualifiers. I would call this as a column qualifier. Column qualifier is nothing but your column family colon your column name, right? So I got 3 values. Okay, now I wanted to put another row which is called row 2 with the different with the same column column families called VI with the different column qualifiers like make, model, year. I'm putting different values inside it. So when I put my values, I have put 2 rows now. When I type something called scan cars, I would get 2 rows. One row has 3 columns. One is make, model and year, and similarly second row has 3 columns, which is again make, model and year. Okay, now as I've shown you how to retrieve the entire data of cars. Now that I wanted to retrieve only the columns that are belonging to make. Okay, so when I wanted to do that, I'll just simply type this, which would give me only the columns that belong to make. See here, row 1 and row 2, which are BMW and Mercedes. See here, whenever I am inserting a row, it is having a value called timestamp. Yeah, so you can insert any number of versions into a table, and each version will have a separate timestamp. Yeah, okay. Now, if I want only the first row, what do I do? Out of these two rows, if I want only the first row, I'll limit it with 1. Yeah, so when I type something called see here, I got all my properties. One is the name of the table, which is my car. The families is name VI. The column family will be name VI. We have not replicated it, and the compression is equal to true, which is a snappy compression. We have not provided any other compression than snappy, so it's none here. Versions are 3. I told HBase is a version oriented database. By default it will have 3 versions. Block size would be 64 MB and your in memory is false and block cache is true. Block cache means we are splitting the data into blocks. Yeah. So this is how these are the different properties of HBase, and how this is how we scan our cars or tables in HBase. Now, how to get rows? How to get specific rows from HBase. So in order to get that, I'll just type in get cars row 1. I'll get the row 1 with all the columns inside it. Yeah, and again we can get the columns, specific columns as well. So it behaves similarly like scan, but the difference between scan and get is nothing but get will operate on a single rows, whereas scan will operate on the entire table. In order to fetch few results, it has to scan the entire table called cars and then get the specific value, whereas get will specifically go to that row which you are mentioning and will get your value. So get will give you more performance than than scan. Yeah, so this is again to get different columns, okay, for row 1. Okay, now now that we have seen how to get some specific columns or rows from HBase, how to scan that entire table, how to create a table, how to insert some data into a table in HBase. Now, if you wanted to delete some row from HBase, how do I do that? I wanted to delete year column from row 2. So if I wanted to do that, I'll just simply type delete cars row 2 VI of year. So when I type in get cars row 2, when I type get cars row 2, I'll get the row 2 values without year because I've deleted it. Okay, once you are done with the operation of your table, if you don't want this table anymore, you can disable the table. Disable cars. Okay, once you disabled it, you can drop cars. Okay, these are the few commands that are available for HBase, and this is how you operate with HBase with all the operations like put, get, and scan, disable, drop, and delete. Hope you had enjoyed watching this video. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Bye bye.